Morning, everybody. It is Bob the Green Man from Mesa, Arizona, Zone 10A. We just had the wettest weekend of 2025, wettest couple days. It rained a lot here in the valley. And here's Bowser. Hi, Bowsy. It rained a lot. Not so much on the east side of town where I'm at, but west of the airport got a lot of rain, 3 to 4 inches in some areas. Friday was the worst of the rain. Lots and lots and lots of rain. 3 cells came through and dumped some rain. We got around half an inch of rain in the 2 days, and my yard is looking amazing. In fact, I have 3 stations placed throughout the yard, weather stations, and each of them are saying that we're at 90 to 95% humidity at the moment. Got some water here. We can use this. Give it to the Rolenia. Rolenia's looking a bit rough for its first summer, and that's to be expected, but we got plenty of new growth all throughout the trunk. So yeah, it is, I think it's like 68 degrees right now. It's beautiful, actually. I wanted to talk about what the rainwater does for us here in the desert, and then I'll talk a little bit about my watering system that we have. So the rainwater is naturally a bit acidic, okay? So when it rains, and when it rains a lot, it does 2 things. It acidifies the soil, which is good for all of our tropical and subtropical fruit trees, but it also will help leach the salts away. We have a lot of salt in our soil that wreaks havoc on our fruit trees, especially like mangoes and other like lychees, tropical trees that are sensitive to soil salt. We even have salt in our water. One of our main rivers in the valley here is called the Salt River, and because it has salt in the water. Like I said, after the rain, everything looks just amazing. I did not water Friday. Well, I did water Friday. We have a new addition that we'll show you. And we have a new addition. So we watered Friday. But then yesterday and today, no water. And that's the first time since March that we have not had to water. So let's go take a look at our new addition. And then we'll talk about watering, or maybe we'll leave that for another video because that's going to be quite a long video. So I recently, in this part of the yard, I recently put in a new watering system, and you can see part of it right back here. But this watering system will help out, and here's a bubbler on this Barbados cherry, and we have another one right back in there for the ice cream bean right there. So I put this in a week ago, and we can already see some difference. This Inga is going crazy with new growth. Got new growth all over this branch here. This is the main trunk, I believe. I'm going to assume. Yeah, lots of new growth. This gets consistently watered now, daily. A little bit of water each day. This tree comes from the tropical rainforest, the Amazon, and it rains there every day, multiple times a day. Got beautiful new growth. So my goal is to recreate what it's used to in its native climate for the ground. Now, I can't really recreate humidity. I mean, I can. It's just a lot harder here in the desert, as it's, naturally dry. But we are humid. We are a lot more humid than Las Vegas. We're a lot more humid than when I first moved here 14 years ago. So that helps. And when we get our monsoons, that helps immensely. And that's just enough humidity to help these trees thrive. So the last addition to this area is an avocado, and this is a Marcus pumpkin avocado. I'll put up some videos or a picture, and see this already has a little bit of sun damage on the leaves here. See right there on the ends. On the new growth, this old growth that is hardened off, it's okay. Now this new growth, this is how it came. I got this from So Exotic in Florida. So these new growth leaves are growth from Florida. Now when we get new growth here, which we have right here, and we get some new growth coming up there, that'll be Arizona growth, and it will be hardened off, and it won't have as many issues as, say, this newer growth does. So we've got a nice little microclimate here. We've got a red Mexican bird of paradise next to it, and grapes on this side. The grapes are going dormant. We have 2 grapevines. I had 3. We had a Concord right here. Concord grapes don't do well in Arizona. So we have 2 Thompson seedless grapes. They're about 4 years old, going to be 5 years old. So these fill this whole area, and in fact, they've gone a little bit rogue here lately. But yeah, they fill the whole area nicely. And then we have a shade, a little 55% shade cloth that is going to block summer and spring, well, mainly summer, afternoon sun. So the sun is right here. Normally, the sun will be over here. And as the year goes on, it makes its way south in the sky. Okay. This thing will get, this area literally gets sun all day. I mean, right now it's in the shade. But if the sun were in this direction over here, it would be just like this. Come right up over here and set right there. And that means that this whole area would get sun all day. Now, no problem for the Inga, Barbados cherry, Santa Rosa plum, Kiefer pear, Mexican bird of paradise, and the grapes. No problem at all. The avocado, until I get it established, and it'll take probably 2 years, to establish the roots. And establishing the roots is basically just, you know, continuing to water, making sure that there's no damage up here, because if you get leaf damage, then the plant has to sacrifice a little bit of its energy from root production to leaf production. So what we do is we'll just continue to water this. This is a great looking tree here. Looks really nice. We'll water it and we'll give it some food, and pretty quick here we will stop watering altogether. Avocados are subject to root rot in the winter here. I mean, it doesn't get too cold. We'll probably get down in the 30s somewhere, something like that. And if we do get close to a frost, we don't freeze here. It's a very light frost, like maybe a half hour below freezing, if ever. We'll throw a sheet over top. So possibly next year, this tree is capable of producing fruit next year. It's a grafted tree, so it is mature wood onto a rootstock. So let's check out a little bit more. So went from tropical zone. Let's go over to our pool area here, and our what do we got here? This is our passion fruit is doing well. Now I have to help this passion fruit out a bit. Help him, you know, find purchase here. So if you had a chain link fence, you wouldn't have to do this. But since I have a regular old pool fence here, I have to just introduce something for the plant to grab onto. Because it'll sit there and say, hey, where is everything? Where is everything? Well, it's back over here. And then it'll work itself out that way. This vine struggled a bit this summer, where we got over 110. Basically, I didn't water it enough. I watered it just enough. And actually, it is growing into this jujube. You can see it all over in here, which is fine because this jujube needs to be pruned. This branch that we have here, it actually has a second crop of fruit on it. That will be getting pruned off. I was gonna allow it to be a bush, but found a lot of jujubes in the pool this year, so we are going to turn this into a tree and let it be a tree. In fact, we got almost a ripe one right here. It's getting close. I don't know if you can tell that. That's getting close to being somewhat ripe. Let's keep taking a look here. We got a couple new things back here. Actually, yeah, I think one new thing back here. This is a cherry of the Rio Grande. And this tree, 2 weeks ago I got this. This is doing amazing. Actually, we are really adding quite a bit of water to this area to keep this tree happy. And we got some mushrooms, as you can see. So that means that we're watering not too much, but we just need to be cognizant that we don't spread or get more mushrooms growing around. Now, when I originally plant, I do give extra water because the tree at the nursery is watered every day, sometimes twice a day, especially here in Arizona. So I need to replicate how it was watered or how much water it got so that it can continue to thrive. And as you can see, this is all new growth since the nursery. All the light colored leaves since the nursery. This is the older stuff here. So it's looking great. We got wax jambu over here that is continuously putting out new growth. Looking good. Now this is very, very, very cold sensitive. So we're going, since it's so small, I'm going to cover it this year, and I might even put a light out here. I do have, get a shot of this. I do have a giant moringa here that is the mother to these 5 plants back here. Helping out, blocking sun, blocking some cold air, possibly later this spring or winter. Our Grumi Chama, or I'm sorry, this is a Jabuticaba. This is a red Jabuticaba. This has a chance to fruit this year, or this upcoming year. This is doing really well. Quite happy, pleased with it. This one was purchased online. It was my first online purchase ever. I purchased it from Everglades Farm in Florida. In fact, we have some new growth right here. I got this in the end of December, and we were a little bit chilly, so I waited 2 weeks or so. We planted it. No, I got that at the end of January. I'm sorry. We planted that middle of February, and it has done wonders. There's a sugar apple that has just absolutely blown up here. Doing very well. I had a flower on there. Let's see if we got anything. Nope, doesn't look like it. There's our little flower. Died off. That's okay. This guy is working on his growth underground as well as above ground, but underground especially. Look at this. This new growth right here is probably within the last week. If you're in Arizona and you are looking for a plant that can take full sun and, does not need watering, you see this, you see all these bubblers. If I have a bubbler next to a tree, that means that the tree's roots are shallow and fibrous, and it needs to consistently stay moist. This has a deeper root system. This is a falsa or a sherbet berry. Has a deeper root system and can handle our sun, our summer. It handles our winters, no problem. And it grows like a weed. I mean, this is all new growth. In fact, I cut right here. This was a prune from this winter, and all of this is new growth. So it drops its leaves every year, and this is just a great looking tree. We got a few fruit off here. It was his first year of fruiting, but honest to goodness, it's a great little shrub, and the seeds propagate real easy. I mean, you just throw them in the ground, and it'll grow another bush. Guava's looking good. In fact, I saw this yesterday. We have our second crop of tropical pink guava. Those are flowers. So if we stay relatively mild this winter, we could have guavas here in a couple months. So guavas for Thanksgiving. This is a guava berry. It's a nice looking tree. Beautiful tropical leaves. Again, it can take our summer, it can take the winter. Speaking of second crop, we got pomegranates flowering again. This is an Eversweet. Oh, I saw another one on there. Now that pomegranate probably won't make it because they need a hot summer to push out, all of its nutrients for the fruit. But just to see it flowering again, that's pretty awesome. Our papayas, look at the size of these leaves. So since I started watering consistently, actually this papaya's gotten bigger than the other one. If you look down there, the papaya on the left, bigger chunk than the papaya on the right. But these leaves, these are amazing looking leaves. I started watering consistently every day. Every day we get 12 gallons here, 12 and a half gallons, and then one day a week it'll get 27 gallons just to deep water it, so to speak. And we've got flowers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's quite a bit of flowers on this plant. And if we swing around, we'll swing around to the other side. Check the other plant out. This one had a little issue with our apricot here. All right here, the apricot smashed some of the leaves. So it lost all the leaves on this side and is now actually growing up and away. It's amazing. It's growing up and away from our apricot. And we do have some flowers. There's a flower right there. A couple flowers up on top here. That's a leaf right here, but that is a flower and another flower. It's amazing. Something we're really proud of is this Amberella. This Ambarella, since we started our water system, and this is its bubbler, about, maybe 14, 15 inches away from the trunk of the tree. This tree has taken off. I struggled with this tree. Earlier this year, we had a lot of leaves that would be crusted, kind of like this guy right here. You know, like this. And what that was I wasn't watering it consistently. So trees with shallow root systems need to stay basically moist in Arizona in the summer. So by doing so, I mean, we've got all this beautiful new growth. I've got fruit here. This tree is starting to really look nice. And I think next year we're gonna prune this apricot. Now this apricot, it gets pruned every year. Apricots are like peaches. They need to have an open center. So you see it's got this huge, wide base. And we will prune this back so that the papaya, now the papaya is going to be big enough to, you know, get up above it. So, but this guy here, we want to allow him to have full sun, as with our star cherry here. A shade tree having troubles, or a shade structure having troubles here. This is a peanut butter. So we've got a couple of fruits out here, right here that are almost ready to pick. I thought I had another one, I think an animal got it, but you know what? We've got some flowers popping up over here, right down over there, so looking good. This is a tree that we lost almost this year. This is a star apple. Again, I didn't water it enough and we lost it. This was probably an 8-foot tree, just a stick. It was a younger tree. So we've got some new growth coming out of here, out of the bottom. You can see that. So we're gonna see if that will grow back up. Chama, looking really nice. Lots of new growth on there. This is sun damage from the first summer. Other than that, no problem. This is a Mame sapote. I have a feeling Mame might not work here. We tried it. I don't know. We'll see what the winter brings. But this thing gets watered regularly, every day. And it's not too happy. I don't think it's humid enough here. Starfruit looking good. Our loquat is amazing. This has got a nice big trunk on it. Hard to see. So we're gonna prune this up this year and we're gonna allow this to grow into a tree. I've let it be a bush a bit because I wanted it to get its feet set, and then, you know, we'll prune it to where we want it to be. This apricot has really, or no, I'm sorry, this is a nectarine. This nectarine has really helped this tree. We got a little bit of sun damage here, but loquats are very susceptible to sun damage, and sun damage will kill a loquat here in Arizona. Starfruit, beautiful leaves, just beautiful. Lots of new growth. This thing is set to fruit this year. It's old enough. So there's a possibility we get some fruit. And when we do, we'll do a video on starfruit. This is a jamun. And I recently saw in a Facebook gardening group, a gal said, my jamun won't grow here in Arizona. Well, this one's growing. This one's growing nicely. There's big root flare there. Root flare on that side. This was a little stick. I planted it last September. No fruit this year, just growth, which is totally okay with me, because we want these trees to last. I'm not just growing trees for a couple minutes. You know, I want, trees for 20, 30 years. This is a pink tamarind, or guamchill. This thing has gotten big, real big. Let's take a look at the trunk down here. It goes very fast. This is how this came from the cellar. This big bulge here. Got nice root flare. A lot of your tropical fruit trees are not going to fruit the first year that you plant them. Let's go up front real quick. Well, let's talk about these two gigantors. We talked about this nectarine. This is a black mission fig that has gotten real big. This gave us 2 crops this year and is still actually putting new growth out. I haven't seen a fig on it in a while. Fig season was over about a month and a half ago. This gets pruned back every year, and in fact, this year here was one of my prune cuts right here, and so all of this is new growth. Everything you see on my fig trees is new growth from this year. Because they grow so fast, we can prune them real hard. Let's go up to the front and take a look at a couple of things. Then we'll end the video. Welcome to the front yard. A couple of tropical fruit trees up here. We have a red Malaysian guava. This was planted in the heat of the summer. These trees, guavas especially, you'll need to shade them their first summer or give them extra water. So we have some suckers growing, and I just pick them. I really like this tree because its leaves have like a reddish underbelly and a reddish hue on the top. The fruits are red with pink flesh. They look just amazing. This is an chachairu, Bolivian mangosteen. And this is starting to put out new growth. Consistent water, everybody. If you live in Arizona, you need to water it consistently. This was planted this year, and this was basically the top of it right here. So we got a good amount of growth this year out of it. Lychee, doing absolutely amazing. This was planted this year. And if you see, you know, my mulch a little too close to the tree, that's okay, because like I said, we don't get a lot of rain. We get rain, but it's not a lot. There's a nice root flare on this tree. So by pulling this back, you see it's wet right here. That will dry out very quickly. Now, in the winter, I'll pull the mulch back from the trunk about, you know, this far, 6 inches, and that will allow, because we get a lot more rain in the winter here than we do in the summer, so that will allow that if it does rain, this area won't get saturated. We'll keep the trunk looking nice. In fact, we still have new growth. Now this tree, this is all new growth. It flushed everything out. All the old leaves fell, and we're left with just new leaves. Mango. This is a Gaylord seedling, and this is old enough now to where we could get some flowering going on. The size of that leaf. It's about a 12-inch leaf. Amazing. This is really taken off this summer. I've had, this is I think the 4th or 5th flush that we're having here right now. Consistent watering, no shade. I did not shade this at all this year. It got natural shade in the afternoon whenever this Tipu and its cousin, the jacaranda, give it. The extra water, though, this lantana is loving it. Both my lantanas. Yeah, it's looking really nice. It's just a little heat damage. No biggie. And finally, we have a Ruby Supreme guava. As with my other guavas, we have more flowers coming. Second flowering of the year. This was planted actually on, I bought it on one of the hottest weeks of the year. Did not plant it, I actually kept it up against the house for the weekend and planted it. Giving it, you know, it's extra water. There's its bubbler right there. Guavas can die real quick in Arizona if you don't water them. And, you know, sometimes I would come home in the evening after work and some of these branches were drooping. And in fact, there's a flower right there. That's guava flower. Some of the new growth would be drooping, you know, like this. And all that's saying is, hey, give me a little bit of water. Yeah, we give it water. No problem. Anyway, my rambling is done. I can see that I'm at 40 minutes. I hope you stayed till the end. I hope you maybe learned a thing or two, or just enjoyed our beautiful yard. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.